I might not have vision, but I had vision to enter into the prestigious civil services of this country. These are the words of Miss Beno Zephine, India's first 100% visually impaired officer. Namaskar dosto, you are listening 91.2 NIVH Hello Doon, and in this special program, I am Chetna Gola, and we are with our special guest, Miss Beno Zephine. At the age of 25, a girl from Chennai cracked the UPSC exam in her second attempt, securing a 343rd All India rank in 2013 and a probationary worker at State Bank of India. And now is the first 100% visually impaired IFS officer of this country. Here we welcome Ms. Beno Zephine, an Indian diplomat who has been serving as an Indian Foreign Service officer in our special show on the occasion of Women's Day. Ma'am, first of all, we welcome you in our show, and ma'am, happy Women's Day.
Thank you so much, and I extend my warm Women's Day wishes to each and everyone who is listening to this program, not just to the women but to men as well, because I think the real Women's Day would be starting only when the men also will start to celebrate women.
Yes, ma'am. Well said, very well said, ma'am. Ma'am, you are an inspiration and your achievements have opened the ways for many visually challenged. So, ma'am, my first question is how your journey started and what challenges you faced, ma'am.
Basically, I was born in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, and I studied in Little Flower Convent Higher Secondary School for the Blind. My schooling was fairly a great journey. It had been such a wonderful learning experience because my teachers were very encouraging and they were very motivating. So I had a brilliant schooling, and wherein I got the opportunity to speak in multiple speech competitions, and not just speech competitions but a number of competitions. Before me attending the program, my teachers used to say that, oh wow, she's going to get the prize. So I think that is the sort of confidence and trust that they reposed in me. And the same goes to my colleges, where Stella Maris College and Loyola College. Again, I used to participate in a lot of competitions, and I used to be the master of ceremony in almost all the programs during my college days. And I was also a member of the Students' Union in Loyola College, apart from being the school pupils leader in the school. So, as such, if I go back, if I think now, I think what I have had was fairly a nice journey, an enriching journey. My parents were very supportive on this Women's Day. I thank them. And now my spouse too is very supportive, so I thank him too, and my two little boys. The journey has been good, and challenges per se, see, I'm someone who generally doesn't get bogged down by pressures or challenges. So for me, an obstacle is an obstacle only if you consider that to be an obstacle. So if you actually go on to find certain ways to overcome the obstacle, or rather manage the obstacle, I think you're fairly at the right place. So this is what I have been doing all along, and per se I have never taken anything as a challenge, and particularly my UPSC journey was fantastic, and it has been such an enriching experience. So it is all good. So I mean, I just get reminded of Helen Keller ma'am's quote here. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. So the path to success is just confidence, and if you are able to just understand only one thing, which is you have just 5 hands, 5 fingers. In other words, these 5 fingers are enough to do great things. So you need not worry about the fact that you don't have n number of other things in your hand. You just have 5 fingers. So I think if we all start thinking in this way, in terms of converting every obstacle into an opportunity, I think that is where we all begin our journeys from. So I think that is what I would like to register, or I would like to say at this point that I've never considered anything as a challenge.
Very well said, ma'am. Since this is the occasion of Women's Day, one more question is about life of a differently abled women is more challenging than a man. What is your opinion about it, ma'am?
It is true in certain ways, as we all celebrate Women's Day because it's a day when our rights were guaranteed, and yes, of course, there is sort of double marginalization which happens. Yes, that is true, but that is the case now. So what do we do? Where do we start from? So I think being a woman, with a different ability, I think you should be more strong within. You should be more capable of finding your inner capabilities so that you can change them into, bigger things. All of us have bigger potential. And I feel women are particularly gifted with multitasking abilities. So I think with these abilities, yes, it's true, but after this, with this realization, we have to start our journeys from here. So when we begin our journeys per se, I think it's very important to realize that, the inner strength of a woman is very important. And we all have heard certain quotes like, a family rests on the power of women, etc. So, but I think, that is all true. Having said that, I feel, besides all this, as a woman, you are more gifted because of your multitasking abilities. Hence, you are a gift to yourself. Apart from being a gift to the family, apart from being a gift to yes, we are all gifts to the society, but you're a gift to yourself. So I think if you just think that if you start appreciating yourself, and I remember Margaret E. Cousin's quote here where she says, appreciation can make a day and can even change a life. All that is important is to just being able to put the appreciation into words. You should appreciate the fact that you're a woman, and apart from this, you're also a woman. You happen to be a woman with certain different abilities, but I think if you just start appreciating this fact, and if you start just realizing that you're capable of more significant things where you can be more useful to yourself and to the society, I think that is where our journeys start from, and I think that is the message that the Women's Day would like to convey all of us.
So, ma'am, another question about womenhood only, being women and are differently challenged. How was life during COVID pandemic, ma'am?
When you ask me this question, I just remember some sweet moments of my life. Because it was exactly during the peak pandemic times. In other words, when the first lockdown, if you all could remember, a very stringent lockdown was in place. That was the time my second baby was born. Okay. So that was the time on April 21st, 2020 he was born. So yes, not just as a differently abled woman, but as a mother, I could not, it was difficult. The doctors weren't coming. It was all video calls, and it was difficult. But then I think, again, it's all about it. COVID placed enormous pressures on the international system, so as on us too, and especially women with different abilities and people with different abilities themselves, be him or her. I think it's all important for us, and it was a significant difficulty that we faced because we all rely on touch a lot. So that has certainly impacted it, and it's true, and that was the time that I delivered, but fortunately everything went well and I could find a good hospital, etc. So the message that I would like to just say is that there is a door, and once you knock the door, and it will, even if one door is not being open for you, there are n number of doors that can be opened. Be it COVID pandemic, be it the fact that you're a differently abled person, or be it the fact that you're a differently abled woman. I think yes, it is all true. It's all difficult. I don't say that, the life is all rosy, but I think the life is not fair to everyone. And I mean, life throws at different levels and intensity of challenges at different people. But what matters the most is the ability to handle it, manage it, and ability to overcome it. And all requires immense agility, flexibility, and determination and dedication.
Overall, a positive approach.
See, I always have reiterated this in many of my speeches earlier too, wherein, if I start walking in a place and I encounter two different persons, one person says that, why do you walk? You can't see, so just go and sit. The other person comes and says that, no, please be careful while you walk. So I think both these men or women are concerned about you. It's just that the way they express their concern and care is different. So I think, if you just mistake the first person, then it's not serving to your advantage. Rather, taking everything positively and just moving around. I'm not saying that everything is fair and rosy, but what I'm trying to say is that ability to interpret everything in a positive fashion and the ability to move on, because whatever happens, life has to move on. So I think that approach is very significant for every human being, especially for a person with different abilities and more particularly for a woman with different abilities.
That's a wonderful answer, ma'am. A wonderful approach, rather. So now you are a mother and a working woman, ma'am. So being a woman, how do you fulfill these engagements?
Chetna, basically, I'm a daughter, I'm a wife, I'm an undersecretary.
Yes.
I'm the mother of two kids.
Yes.
So, it is not easy, number one. But number two, it is not impossible to do that. Right? Number three, I'm conscious of the fact that all the people who are at the end, for example, when I say daughter, I'm daughter to my parents.
Yes.
When I say wife, I'm wife to my husband. When I say an undersecretary, I'm the employee of the ministry. Right? And when I say mother of two kids, I mean, they need me. All these people need me. So I think an excellent planning or an informed analysis of what these needs are and how can you better plan to be able to satisfy, rather, not just, sacrifice is always there, but to satisfy many of their needs and many of your needs too. I think that is where you win the game. Because I feel, for example, I'll just give an example. Yes. If there is work and the work happens to be there during the weekend, so what I do is that I finish off my work before my kids could wake up. Or I do my work after my kids sleep off. I mean, if at all, the work is not so urgent.
Yes.
When the work is demands an immediate attention, yes, there is no other go. But whenever the work is not, the work can be, performed in a certain period of time, then I take the leeway, like early morning before 7 or in the night. For example, yesterday I was working till 1 o'clock in the night. So, yes, it's difficult because you also feel sleepy as a person, you get exhausted, etc. But apart from that, yesterday night I was able to finish my work, and today morning I was able to shop with my family till about 5 o'clock in the evening. So the happiness that everybody gets, apart from the attention that I could give to my work, I think I have won the game. I mean, it's a very small game, but still, I was able to do it. So I think an excellent sort of planning and clarity in thinking. Yes. I think these two things will hold you in good stead. I'm not saying that mistakes don't happen in my life, everything is so rosy, I don't mess up. No, I'm not saying that. But I think it all happens by trial and error method. and you will get on it. And I don't think it's something which is not achievable at all. It is achievable, and it just requires some sort of smart work and the ability to just empathize with others. I mean, you can just be angry with your parents or with your children or with your husband, why they demand from you so much. But
Yes.
I mean, all they demand is your time and your love and your attention. So I think, if you're able to give them these three things, I think most of your problems are automatically taken care of.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, last but not the least, as our FM radio 91.2 NIVH Hello Doon is exclusively dedicated to differently abled issues. So, what is your message to our special youngsters?
Number one, I feel many of you who are listening to this program should enter into the policy planning arena, the policy making arena, which is the civil services. So number two, you can prepare for civil services with confidence. Number three, it's not that civil services is the only area where you can make a difference to yourself, your family, and to the society. There are a number of fields. Number four, it's very important to do what you like to do, because only then in the long term you will have an immense satisfaction that you have done something worthwhile with your life. The next point would be, I feel, just don't worry that I don't have this, you may not have money, you may not have good parents to support you, or your parents might be willing to support, but they may not have the resources to support you. It could be anything. But what I ultimately feel is that every problem has a solution. Every issue is an opportunity to think, rethink, reimagine, and recreate. So I think these are the things which are important, and just don't worry, because worries will not give you anything. Shakespeare says, I always say in many of my speeches, it is not in the stars to write up your destiny, but it is in your own hands. So I think you should start thinking from this. And one of my Google Doodles says, we are too precious to let disappointments enter our minds. So I think that is where we all start from. And we are very precious. No disappointment, no obstacle, no problem has the permission, or no problem should have rather the permission to disturb you, unless you give permission. So I think you are too worth for it. You're very worthy, and appreciate the fact that you're a person, appreciate that you're capable, appreciate that you mean something to the society and to yourself. I think all these things will keep you in good stead, and always be cheerful, be happy, and enjoy your life, as we get to live probably only once. I don't know, but yes, that's what I would like to tell all of you, and especially to women. It's very important for women to occupy the policy planning arena, and I encourage more and more women with different abilities to prepare and enter into civil services and in many other fields where they'll be able to do something to the society and to themselves.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot. We are very grateful to have you with us on this occasion. And ma'am, once again, thank you for your precious time and talking to us, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you for this opportunity. And once again, happy Women's Day to all men and women, as again, Women's Day becomes more meaningful when men begin to celebrate women and not just Women's Day. Thank you. Bye-bye.